Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Welcome to a very special episode of Cosmic Road today, where we are once again joined by Anita Okonin. Thank you so much for joining us, Anita.
Thank you for giving me another target.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Anita is a very talented remote viewer, and today we are going to go over a very intriguing target. Before I get into that, I just wanted to let you know how the process works. Anita is totally blind to the target. All she gets is a sequence of randomly generated numbers, and she uses that through her abilities to link to the target and to see it. And today, the target is, if you can see that, I don't know if you can see that very well, it is the uh, one of the giants displayed at the Smithsonian. I think is popularly known as the Lovelock Giant. And the tasking this time, I tried to keep it simple. Daz Smith, who I'm hoping to interview soon, gave me some instructions to keep the tasking as simple as possible. So this one was very simple. It just says go to the target, determine if it was ever alive, and if it was alive, see it during its life. Describe its life and its people. If it was never alive, describe who created it. And okay, so that's the deal. Anita totally blind to the target until now. I gave her a heads up about 30 minutes ago, telling her what the target is. She had already sent me her data. There's no possibility of fudging there. But she's already sent me her data, but she wanted to sit with the target for 30 minutes to absorb it before discussing it. So we're doing something a little different this time, giving her time to digest it. Okay, so now you've had that time to digest it. Please tell us what you think about this target and take us through your data.
All right. All right. I'm glad I did have a little time to sit with the feedback and have some thoughts. Before I show you the report, now I will mention I do not have a life form based session. It was structures and objects based, and it was distinctly lacking in life form signal, very
Hmm.
strongly so, more
Okay.
so than usual. Usually, I will have a little bit of a red element here or there, even if it's a main structure target. No life form red signal.
Huh.
So, this
Weird.
is a clue
Weird.
where we're getting to.
Okay.
um, I will mention now, in hindsight, even though it's not allowed, I had during the session about 3 or 5 impressions of giants. I kid you not. I don't make stuff up. I'm very thorough about being completely honest. I have a high integrity in remote viewing. I had some impressions and of giants called giants. I saw some heads and things, but it acted like a noise. It acted like a random nonsense. It didn't stick. It wasn't anything that seemed like some RV data to grasp and start working on. I had something else to work on. The only thing I did record in my report of these weird giant impressions was one time. It is one time in the material that I sent Jack. In the full report, I write about it. I saw a big tooth which had been cut straight in half. You could see the root canals of the tooth, and it was in a museum in one of those thin, narrow filing cabinets. And RV said, they want to know what this is. And again, it was big, like giant tooth. This one time I wrote down because I thought, why am I getting this? However, it's not the signal, it's not the target. Now, one asks then, is it a fail session or is it not? I also want to mention, just before we get to the report, just before I clicked to see what the feedback is for the first time, as I'm waiting for Jack to send it, I'm just sitting there by my computer thinking and waiting. When's the email coming in so I can see the feedback? I'm thinking, I start daydreaming and drifting, and I'm thinking, I should do some remote viewing targets for the Smithsonian Museum.
Intriguing,
Yeah,
intriguing.
I'm just sitting there daydreaming and thinking that. And then I click it and it's the Smithsonian Giant. So clearly I was connecting to it before I saw it. I'm able to connect to it. So that proves to me as well as the fact that there were giants here and there, as little bits on the outsides in the session. It gives me confidence that I wasn't just somewhere else. Now, we have to read the tasking again. It says, go to this target, the Smithsonian Giant, to determine if it was ever alive, and if it was alive, see it during its life, describe its life and its people. If it was never alive, describe who created it. So it seems it would have never been alive, and I'm describing who created it.
Okay, I will take us through that.
It's not what we want,
Not
but
what we want, but if that's the case, then that's the case.
yeah. So let me do a screen share here. Let's see here. We have summary. We have pictures. All right. We can start with pictures actually. Can you see this?
Yeah, I can see it.
So there's no giant. There were giants impressions, and there's just one mention in the full report. That's not what we get from the signal. Instead, I am shown technology. I'm shown things that remind me of some kind of a space probe, lunar missions. All of this was older 1900s technology, nothing modern, no modern electronics of any kind, no circuit boards, very old fashioned. It felt like the 1980s, it could be even older. I even had VHS type cassettes, old stuff.
Hmm.
Everything smelled stale and old, dusty kind of tech smell. I think from if I piece everything together, I'm doing the describe who made it. And I'm not describing a person who made it. I'm describing an entire nation. And for one reason or another, it's being defined by its technological pursuits. Now, sadly, I cannot say if this is what country, but this country in the earlier 1900s would have had space technology, lunar missions of some kind. But this, I'm not sure exactly when this is.
I mean, the Smithsonian Giant, I think the Lovelock Giant, I want to say that's 1920s or something. So it would be much
Mm.
earlier than, anything with VHS or anything. But
Oh yeah,
that,
that would place it further back. Mm. So the fact that I did connect to Smithsonian just before clicking proves to me that I was having no problem with landing on the target. So I think somewhere I'm describing who made it, the nation. So I don't even know if any of this is relevant in that
what do you
hindsight.
mean by the nation? Well, what do you mean by representing a nation? What does that mean?
A country, a people who made it, a country, population, nation,
A
not just one,
population.
not one person or two people who would have supposedly made this giant, but the nation. Like maybe it was a nation effort. Maybe scientists built it. I don't know, but
Hmm.
I'm not. So anyway, I don't know how interesting or relevant this data in hindsight is,
Well,
but
I
I could
mean, the
talk you through it.
Smithsonian could represent the nation, right? It's the national, organization.
Would they
Yeah,
fabricate it though? Because they are scientific. Why would
yeah,
they
they wouldn't have
fabricate?
created it.
Yeah.
They got rid of it. Um,
What do you know
but
about it? Have anthropologists studied it?
no, it went missing.
It
The
went
Smithsonian,
missing.
yeah, the Smithsonian, they back in the day, they had a bunch of giants, and giants were being found in mounds across North America, and they were being sent to the Smithsonian. And then there are some credible researchers who say that the Smithsonian destroyed the giants. And people would say, "Hey, where's the giant that I sent you? Why isn't it on display?" And they would say, "Oh, it got lost." In
Interesting.
this case of the Lovelock giant, I believe they said it was a hoax made of gelatin. Now that's a 9 foot tall giant. Gelatin is used to fill in gaps in fossils. It's not you couldn't create a 9 foot tall giant with gelatin. So that explanation was clearly untrue. However, could it be a hoax from, something else or some other fashion in some other way? Possibly. Now that is an incredibly detailed, whatever it is,
Mm.
whether it's a corpse or a hoax. I mean, that they did a good job. That is an incredibly, incredibly detailed being. Maybe it could be cobbled together from other bodies or something, potentially, to get that authentic feel. Yeah. So anyway, that's the story as far as I know on that body. I think it came from a cave and it was found along with some others. And that's about all the information I have on the Lovelock Giant.
So it disappeared. Too bad, because it can't be studied with modern X-rays and such, MRI. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they got rid of all the giants. They didn't want people studying the giants.
Why?
That's the mystery, right? That's the mystery. Why?
Oh,
Why, Anita? Why? That's why you're here to give us some answers.
yeah. Well, let's just walk through the report and then get back to the giants. So there's no giant in my session. There were impressions that I did not record, except for the one thing about the tooth I did record. So that gives us some optimism that it's not just a fail, right? So I have this device for whatever reason. Early 1900s, not modern, not very basic, old style. It emits sound, which I don't know why I'm shown this one, maybe to represent the nation of who created the supposedly then hoax giant, to show them in terms of the technology instead of a flag or a map. Maybe I am shown this is the people who made it. Um, all these components of this one device that I'm shown. There's the VHS cassette. Um, this huge facility with cisterns connected by pipes, and a welcome center, a big hospital. It doesn't seem to relate, except maybe then to represent the people who created, if someone created a hoax. Um, this devices, trucks delivering things to this big facility with the pipes, technology. This
What
device,
was that acorn-like structure? There's that. Yeah, is that a
it's
UFO?
composed.
What is that?
No, it's not a UFO by no means. It's very basic human technology, very old fashioned. It all feels like, I don't know, 60s, 70s, 80s, all of this. Very old. What it is, this is just parts of the whole. Here you see the whole structure.
But that acorn thing, is it rotating lights? What is that? Rotates with the lights? What is
Yeah,
that
this
thing?
this part is part somewhere on it, but this isn't the whole structure. It's just a piece. It's part of this whole structure. This device creates a blue flame which is cold. It consumes round pellets of fuel. The flame itself consumes oxygen. Like, I have a lot of detail about this thing, but it's not really relevant anymore, I guess.
And you're getting a
Ex
mountain, at least in two images, you're getting this mountain.
yeah, yeah. One thing that I was shown several times was the moon. Very clear visual, perfect, as if I was there in the sky looking down it. I could see the whole moon, not just the land, but the whole circumference and so many craters. It was so beautiful. I'm not sure. I did not see if this structure was actually going to the moon. I had some sense of lunar missions. and solar panels on this device. I was riding through clouds, and this guy. So this is a bit of a tangent. This is a tangent. As I was looking, so that's the structure I'm looking at or seeing from the signal. Here I have the best drawing. It has solar panels on the sides. By all means, definitely human technology, not aliens. It was so primitive and basic, early 1900s, very old stuff. And I've also seen some big ocean waves. But anyway, so as I'm seeing the moon and I'm up in the sky looking down at all these craters, I realize the moon is not the target because it's just being shown from afar. But since I'm there, now that I'm there, I think, well, I want to go and take a look at the moon craters. Why not? Like a detour. So I decided to start going closer to the moon surface. And this man on the moon, believe it or not, I have this man on several, I've been remote viewing this target for several days now. This man showed up on 2 of the days, at least 2 of the days. I try to ignore him, but he turns out we had a long conversation. It's in my session recording on audio. I speak it from the text. He tells me he's the lunar ambassador. I know this sounds crazy, but
No, no,
and
no. I love it. I love it. Okay, the lunar ambassador. Okay.
he's telling me to not disturb their affairs. So he's there to tell me to leave. So I wasn't able to look at the moon craters. So I saw that there were some alien bases on the moon.
Oh,
And this
cool.
guy is there to tell someone like me to don't come here. So I had to respect his wishes and I couldn't take a look at the craters. So we have a long conversation in the session. So anyway, that's all of my drawing.
Okay, okay, hang on, hang on. You said you had a long conversation. What else did he say?
All right, I can read it to you if you
Yeah, yeah. I
like.
want to know what this guy said.
Okay.
Now, was he in body or was he, a consciousness? How were you interacting with him?
Like a body. Can you
He was,
see the full report or are you
yeah, I
still
can see it.
seeing the
I can see it.
drawing
I can see
where it
that.
says metallic on the top?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the full text report. Here on the bottom is all of our, can you see this?
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, wow. Is that a
Yeah,
conversation?
yeah, yeah. So he says, so this is from today, earlier today, but we also had a long conversation one of the earlier days that I didn't write because I'm thinking it's not the target. So he says, why are you
Hey,
not a
you're talking to a guy on the moon. I want to know what he says, whether there's the target or not. I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
He says, why are you not afraid of me? And I ask him, are you angry at me? He says, no, not that. I don't want you to look at our affairs. Are you not afraid now? And so on. It just goes on and on.
Okay, let me read it. I am not afraid, you say. However, I am concerned since I do not want to harm you or to cause you any distress. May I look at the moon, though? I am so excited to be on the moon. Yeah, I would be too. I just want to see all the craters. I almost yelled the last sentence about the craters because I really am that excited. I would be too. We don't
Yeah.
want to fight with you. We just really want you to leave. Signing off, he says. Okay. And you say, I have to respect that. You have given me no reason to disrespect your wishes. And he says, you were never on the lunar surface. And you say, was I not? But I saw in my mind another planet or moon that had lots of craters on it. We mean this well. What does that mean? He has, yeah, means that he has good intentions. Where was it then? Another planet, you say? We wish you well.
I'm
I
going
think
to
that's a
scroll up.
goodbye. Yeah, please. And you say, thank you. I wish you well also. I mean you no harm. He says, I am the ambassador of this place. So I came here to tell you this. And you say, you have been so kind to me. I am grateful to you. It was wonderful to meet you. I wanted to see the craters. May I see the craters? Which ones? The big ones. There are many large size ones. Which ones do you want to see? Only the good ones then? Well, can you tell me which crater I may look at? We have equipment here, he says. Should I leave the moon? Is this the Earth's moon? I am the lunar ambassador. Pleased to meet you. We are not arresting you or anything. That's good to know. Nice to meet you, lunar ambassador. Uh, he says, do you want to swim here? Yes, we do have oceans.
Weird.
And you say you have oceans on the moon? Yes, we do. So it's not the Earth's moon. Okay, now yeah, keep going. This is fascinating. We have glassware too. We know that you have been looking at it. It has not broken, do not worry. He fusses at some other alien who may have wondered if I had broken the glassware. So he assures the other alien that I have not broken the glassware. But he spoke in a fussy, angry way to the other alien. To me, he speaks calm and noble. Later, please do not come here anymore, the lunar ambassador says kindly. Uh, how came, how come you can see me? Are you part of the target? Okay, well, that's just fascinating, Anita. So was this where was this moon? If it had oceans, so it wasn't Earth's moon? What's
I don't know what moon. I just know it
wow.
looked like this.
So it looked like the Earth's moon.
Yeah, it looked like the Earth's moon. But I suppose from considering the tasking. So just to reiterate, I did have impressions of giants. And before clicking on the feedback, I'm thinking Smithsonian Museum. Before I know the feedback is the Smithsonian Giant. So it confirms to me that I did have a connection. But since I'm not going to when this giant was alive, I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think I may be describing the nation or people or country that created it. That's my best explanation.
The nation that created it. I'm trying to make sense of that.
Like who created it? The country, the people,
you mean the people
population.
from a country, or do you mean as a national endeavor? Do you mean like just
Could be, and
individuals from?
I did not see the act of a giant being created. I did not see anything like that.
But you were seeing something like something akin to a rocket and a mountain and the moon and like VHS technology.
Yes. So
Well,
here
that is
I'm
okay.
just writing everything I already described from the drawings. This is the summary. Plus radiation sickness. The device creates illness in people. And yeah.
Hmm.
So let's just how do we get full screen?
Uh, that is fascinating. I don't understand it, but it's
You
certainly
know,
fascinating.
if I didn't have, if I hadn't had about 5 impressions specific about giants during the session, which were just floating around, I kind of thought, oh, okay, well, it's not what I'm working on. I'm working on this device. Plus, what I did write about this giant tooth in a filing cabinet in a museum. And Avi said they want to know what this is, this big giant tooth.
I wonder if that's all that's left.
I don't know. But I mean, this session then, if reliable, would indicate that this giant on this picture would be a hoax. Not that it was never a living life form. If my session is reliable, that's what I
Well,
have.
all right. Well, that's fascinating, Anita. I don't know what to make of it. I'm trying to make sense of it.
Yeah. I
a
mean,
nation involved in the creation of this, uh, I and rockets and mountains and moons. Uh,
mm,
that all sounds very NASA-ish, honestly.
kind of.
And but of course, obviously the Giants predated NASA, or did they? Uh, but okay. All right. Well, do you have anything else to share involving the target or anything else? Other aliens you're talking to?
Well, just that once again, like if I hadn't started daydreaming about Smithsonian Museum just before I clicked the feedback and had impressions of giants, I would have called this a fail session. 100%. I would have said, no, this is fail. There's no giants anywhere. But, you know, I'm suspecting, but I can't be sure, that this is how RV tells me that this giant would be a hoax. It would be interesting to see what anthropologists say about this photograph of this giant, if it has like too many ribs or things like that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we don't know
Yeah.
how many ribs giants have. But
Well,
absolutely to get some
yeah.
professionals to study it 100%. Yeah, it'd be great.
Mm.
I wonder if they have. I wonder if there's some analysis out there like that.
Yeah, I
I
might
would
take a
love,
look.
yeah, I would love to see that. It's a shame we don't have any of the giant remains. They were all destroyed or hidden. I wonder if this had been a real being, if it was destroyed and maybe a tooth was kept of it, and you were seeing that tooth.
Mm,
Very interesting because I don't think it's been conclusively debunked because you weren't seeing the creation of it.
exactly. Yeah.
Or
Mm,
the individuals directly participating in the creation of it, but you
mm,
also weren't seeing the life form.
mhm.
So uh, I don't know. I don't know, Anita, but I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know you weren't feeling well when you were doing this, and I really appreciate you doing this regardless. And so thank you so much. Do you have anything else you want to share on this target?
Yeah, yeah. Not on this target. There's another target that was once tasked to some really, really skilled remote viewers. It was the Giants of Sardinia, I think, an island in the Mediterranean. And there were legends that there would have been giants living on the island some time ago. And some remote viewers were tasked to remote view these giants. And I only recall one of the session reports that were submitted, and it had no giants in it. It described perfectly the hillsides and the stone buildings, but no giants in the remote viewing. And afterwards, when I looked into it, there were people were showing these huge teeth that were found on the island. Look, it's teeth from giant hominids, giant humans. I was suspicious because I have an interest in Neanderthals and all of these things. So I noticed that this tooth didn't quite look like a human tooth. It had these weird ridges on it. After just like 5 minutes of investigating on the internet, I was able to debunk it. These teeth that they claim are giant human teeth are actually bovine teeth. It's a normal sized tooth from like a cow or similar animal, but it's a big tooth. So if you find one of these teeth and you don't understand basic human anatomy, you might say, look, it's the tooth of a giant. It's just the tooth of a bovine animal. They're big.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And
A molar, molar
you can
tooth.
understand how people, would be finding, the
Mm,
skulls of elephants or other things like that, or even dinosaurs or something, and misidentifying them as
yeah.
giants.
And
100%. I'm sure that happened. But there were hundreds of newspaper articles back in the late 1800s and early 1900s about the giants. some of them actually with photos. And there were, I mean, the skulls of the giants and the bodies of the giants. And lots of people talking about it back in the day. So, those weren't necessarily misidentified. But what were they? And if they were just hoaxes or, just big people or something, why would they be vanished or destroyed?
Mm.
Why
Yeah,
the
where
cover?
are they now?
Where are they? Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Why the cover up if there's nothing there, right?
Mm, interesting. Yeah.
I don't know, but it's a great session, Anita. And thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Everybody, give a shout out to Anita. Go check out her channel. I'll link to it below. She does fantastic videos and just amazing remote viewing sessions. And so, yeah, everybody say thank you to Anita. And I'm going to say thank you right now. Thank you so much for joining us, Anita.
Thank you. It was interesting. It's not what we want, but we don't get to decide.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, thank you so much, and I hope to have you back again soon.
I hope so.